what would be sort of the number one piece of advice that you would offer to somebody who's brand new in this business? And by brand new, let's say 1 to 3, like 0, like you started yesterday, to 3 years.
I have a very clear and specific piece of advice, which is work your butts off. And, you know, I have new people on my team, and they're full-time, and I don't know what they do all day. And, you know, when I look for this panel of top producers, they're literally all working 8, 10, 12 hours a day, 5, 6, 7 days a week. So how are you going to ever, you know, deliver a ton of business when you're, you know, half an hour here, half an hour there? Like, I'm, you know, like, harsh, but it's like, there are no secrets. Like, you got to work your butt off. If there was a secret, then everyone would be a trillionaire, and that would be that.
Hey, I'll be even harsher. Look, it's really easy to fill your day with a list full of bullshit, because I've been there.
Exactly. 100%.
I use that term as a technical term, but I make to-do lists, and when I get home and I've done all the things on my to-do list, I look at the to-do list, and it's BS. Like, go fill the tank with gas, go get a haircut. Like, I need to get a haircut. What are we talking about? Like, yeah, what are you really doing with your time? Yeah. But I feel like we've also just burst the bubble for all the rookies that are putting in 10, 12 hours a day, that are making calls, writing blog posts, reading underwriter kits, thinking that one day they'll be able to throttle back and be on easy street, because none of this panel seems like they're on easy street just yet.
That's exactly right.
Varan, what would you offer up as advice for a brand new broker trying to break in the middle of all this craziness?
I think I just going to agree with what Ellen said. Work your butt off. I hear a lot of people, they sit down and complain. People are going to the bank. People are going to the different broker. You know what? I think what happens with a lot of brokers, they have one deal or two deals, and they just kind of wrap their head around it. They don't want to let it go. They waste so much time and energy try to make the one deal work, and they are not prospecting. Even though, like, people, like, I went to a Mike Ferry. I'm sure you guys know Mike Ferry. I started listening to him on my first day becoming a mortgage advisor with CIBC. I walked into him and say, a lot of people have one client, and they think that that's a client is going to pay their bills, and they spend so much time on it, and the clients are not even, you don't even know the deal is going to work. They're trying to CPR and give all kind of energy to the one client and not prospecting. Fire the client, move on, make the calls, prospect 2-3 hours a day. Pick up the phone, call people, you will get business. As a broker, anyone you talk to, you can help them. You have a client who has a bad credit, sure, you can help. The client who wants a private $30,000, $50,000, like, you have a multiple solution. I come from a bank environment. It's hard to help client because you need the client that fits in the box. As a broker, you can help anyone and everyone who has a need for a financing.
Yeah, everybody's approved. You may not like the rate, but everybody.
Exactly. So I think work your butt off. Like,
not everybody, not
okay.
all.
And you know, Varan, to summarize as well, I think you make an excellent point, like on the know your numbers thing. Right? Like, we all generally know that we're going to have 4 inquiries. That's going to equal 2 applications. And ultimately, we're only going to fund 1 of those 2 applications. So if you think you have 1 client, you don't. If you think you have 2 clients, you don't. If you have 4 clients, you might have 1.
I tell all the new people that I recruit, if I was leading a team at CIBC as well, I tell them, make minimum 10 calls a day. You may get 1 application. In a week, you get 5 applications. You close a week, you close 1 deal a week. You're closing 4 deals a month.
That's right. That's right. I love that math. I love that math. Mackenzie, what have you got for us for the brand newbies out there?
Volunteer. Get involved in your community and volunteer. Pick your passion and pick a charity and sit on the board and learn how a board works and be involved. If you have a genuine interest and you show that you're caring, then people will respect that. That
is really good info. I like that. I love that. And actually, I can put a bit of a different twist on it for people as well. When you said passion, it could be your passion. My son and I just drove back from Squamish, halfway between Whistler and Vancouver, last night. And we were talking about 7 years ago, we used to go every Wednesday to a race in Whistler, and I would load 4 of his buddies up in that truck. And as it happened, one of his buddies' mothers worked with one of the major developers in town. And just because I was passionate about downhill mountain biking and taking these kids to the Wednesday night races and, you know, doing the 4-hour round trip drive every Wednesday for a couple of months, that blossomed into a very, very long-standing, fantastic business relationship. And it was just from offering the kid a ride week after week after week, and not having him in the ER. But that's great advice, like getting involved in your community and whatever that looks like. Just, you know, being nice.
Yes, I don't ask for business. I really, I don't want to seem like I'm selling something. I feel like I offer more of like an education rather than selling a product. So I just show that I have genuine interest in the community, and I think that feeds the business in just in a natural kind of manner.
And you've also positioned yourself as an expert in your industry. Like people, you don't have to tell them what you do. They kind of know what you do because you do it well, you do it often, you've got an office space.
Yeah, there's that too.
Awesome. Awesome. Joanna, what have you got for us? What have you got for the rookies?
Thank you. I just wanted to, first thing I wanted to say is just go back to those people who are wasting time, procrastinating, and doing lists of various things. You either figure out your hourly wage by looking at your current income and divided it by the hours you work, or if you're a new rookie, you put a number that you want to make and figure out your hourly wage, because you're going to feel so much worse if you spend half an hour browsing Facebook if you just burn through $100, because time is money here. And if you're not using your time productively, you're wasting your time and you're wasting money.
Yeah, and a pro tip right there. Everybody watching this, remove TikTok from your phone. Like delete the app. I mean, the last time I went into TikTok was a couple of months ago, and it was like 90 minutes of my life just vaporized. I don't even know where it went. And, you know, so there, yeah, but that's an example of what you're talking about, right? Priority.
Yeah. When it comes to advice for rookies, I think two things are, other than work ethic, two things are most important is technical knowledge. And if you don't have enough yet, use the tools. Learn how to use the search tool in I Love Mortgage Brokering or Weenie or Lender Spotlight, and use that as a guideline to then narrow down the options for lenders that may entertain your deal. And another thing is you need to, if you're new and you're trying to go to a realtor and get a deal, and you being, you know, one of so many people that are trying to get that deal, if you don't have credibility, they're very unlikely to give you a call back. So look at your sphere of influence and either get endorsed through people who that referral source values, or perhaps go on a team where, similar to real estate, you might be working as a junior with someone with more experience so that you can build your credibility under them and have them mentor you, or maybe even go to some meetings with you virtually.
Well, and I want to add one quick thing, because this is a very important thing for new agents. So let's say I'm competing on a file against a brand new agent, and the realtor is going to kind of shift the referral, and the realtor is going to say, well, Stacy, you're a brand new mortgage agent. Why would I go with you? Like, Elon has a good track record. And this is my suggestion to new agents, is you're going to say, well, Elon has 100 clients on his plate right now, whereas I'm new and I will devote everything in my time and energy to work on your client. But I also work at an amazing mortgage brokerage directly with the brokers. So you're literally getting the best of both worlds. And like, the reality is, when you work your butt off, you're going to get your butt kicked. And realtors are going to ask you very, very tough questions, and you're not going to know the answer. And then you're going to say, you know what, let me look into that. There's some new policies. And then you're going to come back to them an hour later with all the information. So you have to use the fact that you're new and you don't have a huge reputation as an advantage. Otherwise, you're never going to get any business.
It's a huge advantage. And to make it, to really press that point, here's what you do. You're up against Ilan, for instance. You say, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I understand why you may want to work with somebody that, you know, seems like they've got more of a track record and all the rest of it. I get that. But But do this for me. Hang up the phone right now, call Elan and see if he answers his phone.
I will win that every time, and everyone here on that panel is working. But anyway, keep going, Dustin.
But in a lot of cases, you wouldn't be able to because you're busy, you're on the phone with an underwriter, another client, whatever it is. It's a bit of a roll of the dice. It's a bit of a roll of the dice. But right now, people are so busy. When a call comes in from an unknown number or a brand new number, sometimes we let it go to voicemail. Probably nobody on this panel, but there's a lot of competition out there that will. As I said,
sorry, I now need to comment on that. Never let an unknown number go to voicemail. If you don't know who it is, it could be a $10,000 client. If it's an existing client or underwriter, it can go to voicemail. Do not let an unknown number ever go to voicemail. Sorry.
It also could be CRA coming to arrest you. So very important to always take those calls. But that's the thing. You have to filter through the chaff to get to the wheat, to get to the gold. Just Joanna, really quickly again, you mentioned the word endorse, and that made me think about LinkedIn, which I know you've been a real pro on LinkedIn for sure. Like you've got things dialed in there. I mean, how important would you say it is to newer brokers to have a robust, complete LinkedIn profile?
Anybody who you talk to, before they give you their financial information, they want to know a little bit about you. Because clients these days have to provide a firstborn DNA sample and everything else. So it's very important to have some presence and be established in a way that they can at least verify that you're a live person. And if they can see other people who have endorsed you and who maybe are part of their network, then it builds instant credibility.
Exactly. It's your forward-facing resume to the world. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is filled out. And to Mackenzie's point, make sure that you've got any kind of community involvement or passion projects highlighted in there as well. Fill that profile out to the max and pay for the premium so you can see who's searching you as well. Because it's fascinating how many clients will creep your LinkedIn profile and then a week later they phone you. It's very, very interesting. Elan, Joanna, Mackenzie, Varen, thank you so much for making this happen. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the opportunity and thank you for tuned in.